Okay, it has come to that time. I'm going to go ahead and tear into the Mercedes-Benz H2I's coming up, and I would love to take this thing, but it has been running for like the past month and a half. If you watched my previous video, which I would if I were you, it kind of explains what happened, but I'm going to go ahead and start tearing into it, and I will, again, after I pull the intake manifold out, I will kind of elaborate on what the problem is. Did a little more research. From what I could find on the internet, there just isn't a whole lot on there about taking this out. But if you look at it, it's kind of... I'll show you guys. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's a Mercedes-Benz, but honestly, nothing to be that intimidated over. This wire harness is going to have to come out. I already disconnected it from the ECU. If this is not called an ECU, I apologize. It's a Mercedes-Benz. It could be something different. But I disconnected it from this guy right here. This whole unit will have to come off, but that's simple enough. Okay, that was easy. Wow. Botch makes everything. So there's that guy there. So I'll be taking off this wire harness, super easy, couple bolts, nothing super serious. Vacuum lines will be coming off, and from the looks of it, you know, a few connections here and there. Looks like it should just pull right out. But let me get to taking all this stuff off. Before I can do anything really, I have to make sure that my workbench is clear. So let's get to that. Unfortunately, that's probably about as clear as it's going to get, but you know what, it'll do. I swear I turn around for 2 seconds and this thing's like freaking destroyed every single freaking time. Okay, now I'll get to this. If you don't have yourself one of these, get yourself one of these. I'm not being paid to promote this, I'm just saying it comes in a lot of handy, especially on Power Strokes. I'm not working on one, I'm just saying. These things are freaking dope. Everyone loves these. Get one. You're also going to want yourself a longer extension. I was using one that was about 2 inches long. You're going to want something longer. This is what, 4, maybe 5 inches long. This will do you right. Also, you're going to need these, which is kind of common sense, but I just wanted to give a shout out to my boy Aaron Winters, because if it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be happening right now, or I would have had to go buy some. I'm going to go buy some anyway, but at least I can get this project done right now. This was the only part that I didn't have. So, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Okay, so I've come across something that I didn't even think about. It's not really a problem, but this fuel line is going to have to come off. So just make sure you have something to put underneath it, obviously, so you're not dripping down on the engine. Mercedes-Benz likes to put these nice little plastic covers down there, so it keeps the engine clean, and the last thing you want to do is dirty it all up. So remember, this has to come off and put something underneath it. I'm also disconnecting the top part of this fuel line, and I'm letting it dribble out, and I will later, as I go to take the intake manifold out, I will go ahead and take this one off. But for right now, I'm just doing the top one, so I don't do this, and then it really goes spewing all over the place. So I'm sure that there's fuel somewhere down there, because it's kind of at a decline. I don't know, I just thought I was being smart by doing that. Alright, I love the summer, but freaking I'm drenched. I'm like drenched in sweat right now. So I opened the garage up for a little bit of ventilation. I think I pretty much got the wire harness off. Obviously you have all your fuel injectors. This guy came off, this guy came off. I was kind of hoping that I would disconnect everything, and this wire harness, without disconnecting a whole lot up here, would just kind of fold back like that. It looks like that's not going to be the case, which is fine. When I was working on a 6-liter Power Strokes, it's kind of the same deal. I had to weasel the intake manifold out of there with the wire harness still kind of on. I mean, I could take the whole thing off by disconnecting a whole bunch up here, but I really have no desire to do that. So I think everything's done. The hardest part of this, honestly, was this sensor right here, which is actually the sensor that tells you if any of this garbage up here fails. That was the hardest one to get to. I actually climbed up on top of the engine. My feet were resting right here, and I had to get a screwdriver, or a flathead screwdriver in there, and pull it up that way. So kind of a bit of a pain in the rear, but still, compared to a lot of the things that I've done, really not that bad. Ooh, itchy. Oh my goodness, it freaking itches. Oh, but yeah, I'll go ahead and start working on the intake manifold itself and get it out there. It doesn't look too difficult. Ooh. Okay, so the hardest part of this is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 of these guys on either side, and of course they put one underneath this wire harness here. That big chunk of a wire harness, and the thing will not freaking move. So after fighting and fighting and fighting, I finally got the thing out, and theoretically that should mean that the intake manifold is ready to come out of the car. So let's see what happens. Okay, for the love of God, it's out. A couple pointers. I did nothing to the wire harness to get it out. I simply just moved it out of the way the best that I could. This is connected in the very back and the bottom. So as you move it out, this is going to be connected, so don't sit there and keep yanking and pulling on it. Make sure your fuel injector wires are out of the way. I failed to do that a little bit, and yeah, so just be mindful and careful of that. Obviously, clear these up. It actually looks like great. That's freaking awesome. It looks like I got a good bit of crud down there on my valves when I took it out. Just all this bull crap that's in that. I don't even know how to get in there and freaking clean that up. That pisses me off. I'll have to figure something out. There's no way I can suck that down into my engine. That would blow. As I was taking it out, I heard something like a psst, letting go of air or something. I don't know what that was. I don't know if I tore something. That really sucks. Anyway, be mindful. This thing, which goes on the intake part, wherever the butterfly valve, whatever that is, that goes on to hold your air filter cap thingy majig, whatever, engine cover on. That's gonna come off. That really pisses me off. And then here we are. So, as I showed you guys before, so this part right here, this mechanism, is typically what fails on these Mercedes. This one is completely intact and well. What failed is this little guy right here. Now, notice on a lot of other videos that I've watched, it has this one and this one, and there are 3 of these. I don't really know the difference between the two. but it's just the one that failed and also caused this to fail and not work anymore. Gosh, no wonder it failed. The thing's freaking impossible to, seriously, the thing's impossible to freaking move. I'm actually not 100% sure on, I don't really think there's any fixing that. I'll probably end up going to just go buy another one. I'm actually not even sure if I'll go by the Mercedes dealership to see. I would like to, but it would probably, honestly, I feel like it would just be a waste of my time. So I'll probably get on eBay, order that part. I might even order the bulletproof kit. It's not called that, but I'll call it that, which replaces that little actuator. Instead of it being plastic, it's like aluminum, and so is that little valve that opens and closes. It changes that to aluminum as well. The part that failed on my intake, pretty sure that's irreplaceable. I don't think you can replace that, so that's why I'm just looking at buying a whole new intake. Crap, I really don't know what to do about that garbage down the valves. That is really not good. Anyway, it's out. So just a few pointers. If you don't normally do work on cars, always keep your stuff in baggies. I need to put those in baggies. Label them. And just go slow. This actually wasn't that bad of a job, honestly. It really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that much fun either. But the amount of money that I would have spent at the dealership, I mean, the part online is around $1,200, and that's brand new. Obviously, Mercedes is going to get you a brand new part. The part that I found online, I'm pretty sure, is kind of an aftermarket. So if you're looking at a brand new OEM Mercedes part, I mean, it could be like $2,000. Usually, you can always the parts, double the parts price and labor. So I mean, you're looking at a $5,000, $6,000 repair job at Mercedes-Benz for this, which is absolutely ridiculous and something that I would never be willing to pay. I mean, it would be nice not to have to worry about it. They would probably even warranty their work. But I tell you what, I'd rather take a couple hours out of my life and fix it for, you know, $400 rather than $6,000. So all these Mercedes-Benz, all these C-Class, the E-Class, the 6 cylinders, the 8 cylinders, they're all designed exactly the same. So this actually is a problem that a lot of Mercedes Benz could have. I know that that little actuator is actually a very common problem on these cars, which is why I'm probably going to replace it while it's out when I get the new part. The part that failed on my car, I think I already mentioned before, it's just not a common part to break. So I feel like if I get another one, I shouldn't have to worry about it as much at all, really. But I probably will get that other little aluminum part and replace that. It's like $130, but it's worth it because I really don't feel like doing this again. And anyway, I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching.